بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to another edition of the Book Review Podcast. I'm your host, Abu Abdurrahman, and I'm very pleased to be joined on this eve of Arafah, we can say, with my dear brother, dear guest, dear Sheikh Farhan bin Rafee. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. It's a triple header today.
Yeah, looking pumped. Allahumma barak. Just finished the lesson on the great day of Arafah, and then tafsir Surah Al-Baqarah, or ayah number 9 completed today.
Ayah number 9
About the munafiqun.
And we're still going through the munafiqun. It's going to be a few more
Or should I do it like about the munafiqin? Jar.
Munafiqun was the asr.
I never knew about is a harf jar.
Really? Come on, mate. It's is. No, but we're still on the munafiqun right now still. And we're going to keep going for a few more weeks. Hopefully we can get, I was aiming to do 2-3 today, but because we had the dars before it, and by the time we were finished, the brothers were like nearly knocking out. So it was a bit of an information overload.
Maybe before we start our book review podcast today, maybe we can give a quick reminder for the brothers and sisters to fast Tuesday, the day of Arafah, as it wipes away the previous year and the coming year, as the Prophet ﷺ tells us in an authentic narration.
And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says about this day, which is the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah, and we've already entered that night. So the days of the month for us, they start off at Maghrib, that's our new day. But tomorrow from Fajr, it all begins, right? Everything begins from Fajr. So something that is special about this day is that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says about this day that there is no day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frees more people from the hellfire than the day of Arafah. Now, tomorrow is that day, Tuesday. Tomorrow is the day of Arafah. Now, something that is interesting to note is, what is Arafah? Why do we actually care about, why is it even called Arafah? So the first thing is that Arafah is a place. Arafah is a place between Mecca and Ta'if. And it is a place that the Hujjaj will stand tomorrow on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, and they will stand there until the sunset of that day, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and glorifying Him and praising Him and worshipping Him alone. Now, this is a day that is special. Why? Because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says about the Hujjaj that are in Arafah, he says, Al-Hajj Arafah. He says that Hajj itself is Arafah. The person who misses Arafah has missed his Hajj. There's no, I was late and I rocked up 5 minutes after. There's no qada. It's come back next year, we'll see you then. So this is a momentous occasion where so many people from across the world, whatever color of their skin, whatever country they're from, I think it's over 90 different nationalities or something like that are all rocking up to Hajj this year.
Apparently it's record numbers as well.
Oh, this will be over 5 million, Allahu A'lam. Allahu A'lam. I genuinely think it should be over 4 plus, easy, Allahu A'lam. But we'll find out very, very soon. So we're going to have this momentous occasion where there's 4 million plus people standing on one plane of land, where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the companions stood. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he made dua from the time of Dhuhr till sunset. He even combined his prayers, and he continuously made dua without once dropping his hands down. Allahu Akbar. There is a narration, it's got weakness in it, but it says the best dua that one can make is on the day of Arafah. Ya Allah. This is something that we should be coming back to closely and trying to be of those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frees from the hellfire on this day. Now, this is a day that is almost forgotten by those who are not in Arafah, which is a shame. So, yes, the bare minimum is that you fast. And we fast this day because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fasted this day. And it is a sunnah, and it is something that the Salaf would try to strive for. If they would miss it because of travel, they'd make sure that they would try to fast it. Even if they were traveling, they would make sure that they were fasted, because there's no making up of this day like Ramadan. So that's the first thing, that fasting this day. But then the dhikr. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that the best dhikr, the best thing that I have made dua with in the prophets before me, is a specific dua. What is it? Come on. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Constantly repeat it. There is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. وحده لا شريك له. He has no partners. And he has all of dominion and power. To him is all praise. And he is able to do all things. And this is something that is beautiful, that we can remind ourselves and constantly live by. But it's like a recharge for you on this one day, that you can come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the remainder of the year. Now, that's some of the reasons that we should try to go above and beyond for this day, but it's a preparation for the greatest day of the year, which is Yawm al-Nahr, which is the Eid al-Adha, which is coming up, which is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. But something that is beautiful is that the hadith of the day of Arafah, one of the hadith specifically, it says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes close.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
La yadnu. He comes close. And then he is, he's happy, he's praising almost, he's boasting about it almost, and he says, what do they want? What do these people want?
God.
He is saying, what do they want? The answer is not given because it's a rhetorical question. It's saying, what do they want? Whatever they want, I'm going to give them. Whatever they want. They want maghfirah, done. They want something from me, done. Whatever they want and ask from me, we will give them. Imagine Allah is saying, what do they want? And He's close for this occasion. And if you're going to be heedless on this day, it's a shame. It's a shame. So we have to come close back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to come on this day in preparation back to Nabi sallallahu alayhi, back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, back on the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and keep coming close and striving for the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this very special day. On this very special day. So it's not just a regular day, it's not a Tuesday. It's the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah. So it's a day that we should just go above and beyond.
Inshallah ta'ala. So dear brothers and sisters, make sure you fast Tuesday, tomorrow. Barakallah fikum. I got some very exciting news and I want to get your reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, this is first time we do it online. I think some of the brothers may have seen it in the masajid.
Is it already in the masjid?
Yes.
Wow, I am kind of upset now.
Yeah, a few days ago, I think, but not fully released yet. It's mainly released on the day of Eid al-Adha, Wednesday, at the Eid prayers of ASWJ and other centers and places of shops and the like. So I want to get your instant reaction. You haven't seen it yet. This is the new ASWJ calendar.
Wow.
Hijri calendar, prayer calendar, events for the 1445 Hijri year.
MashaAllah.
2023-2024 ASWJ annual calendar. Let me know what you think.
Okay, first there's got to be a disclaimer.
There's a theme. Yep.
I always love the calendars.
That's it. Here
I
it is
always love the calendars. The calendars. I got this on the back of my front door. When I leave my house, it's the last thing I see of my house. This is like the most important thing. Like, it's always there just before I leave. And I love that it's always, every single month is a different thing that you can learn and you can like maximize of what you do. Let's see how they've done it. MashaAllah. But I genuinely love the calendars of ASWJ. It's always something, even subhanAllah, people who've never prayed in an ASWJ masjid, they will usually have the calendars. Yes. It's unbelievable.
Very popular.
It's a very popular thing, mashallah.
And we've heard many times that, with technology, all this is getting old, but in reality, the demand is still huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
The tech man, he's involved with this. He'll let us know that as well.
Every time, subhanallah, just at the end of the year, at the shop, there's always people like, have they come? Have the calendars come? I still remember back in the days, but there have been some wonderful calendars before.
So the first page there has who Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is in English and Arabic, the various centres in Sydney and around Australia, in Melbourne and Perth. Then it has the advertisers and the sponsors.
Oh, that is really good.
And then it goes to Muharram, the first month of the Islamic year. And the theme this year, we failed to mention at the start,
Mothers of Believers.
Is the Mothers of the Believers.
That is hectic. That is
good. Very nice. Starts off with who else? Khadija bint Khuwaylid radiyallahu anha. There's a bit about her in English and in Arabic.
But that's, what I'm liking right now? Yes, that is awesome. But it's got the QR code. It's got the QR code over here with the Sheikh Nasim's.
Yeah, so it's got QR codes to lessons on each page.
That is hectic.
Relevant to the month. So for example, the day of Ashura. What is Ashura? What's so historical about it? What's the virtues of it?
That is awesome.
And has also, the QR code helps a lot in how you can donate and support the calendar, because the calendar is given out for free. Yes, there are sponsors to support it, and make it possible. May Allah bless them and
Ameen,
bless
Ya
their
Rab.
businesses. So you can get it from your ASWJ centers and certain shops who are holding it, and it will be available at Dar es Salaam Islamic Bookstore in Lakemba, Bukhari House Islamic Bookstores, and probably the best place to get it is at your Eid in the Park ASWJ prayer location, and we'll mention them later, such as Louisa Reserve in Bass Hill, in Campbelltown, in GRYC where they pray as well. We'll mention all those locations a bit later on in the program. So get your calendar. Barakallah fikum at your local ASWJ Center, Eid in the Park or the Eid prayer locations, and also Dar es Salaam Islamic Bookstores and Bukhari House Islamic Bookstore, and supermarkets in the area. Most of them stock it, alhamdulillah. So we'd like to ask Allah to reward all the brothers who were behind this calendar. A lot of work goes in to preparing, checking, and the rest of it. And it looks very good. What do you think? Let me know.
No, it's
Reaction.
done,
I've just spoken about it.
it's done very, very well. It's done very, very well. It's يعني the English is very easy to read. The Arabic, the only thing that I would love is if they put harakat on there.
Yeah, the Arabic font is something that I believe as well.
That was my only thing.
From what I see, because that especially like
Juwayriya bint
Khadija there, radiallahu anha, unless you you're
solid
with
the
the running writing, or it's not easy. I think it's not like that on every page. No, it isn't. It is smaller font. Yeah,
it is.
That's some feedback for next year.
But like, there's one of them that has it all in the harakat, which is good. The prepare for Ramadan. This is hectic, mashallah. It's got so many people on this. Sheikh Zuhair, Sheikh Khalid, Sheikh Muhammad, Virtues of Ramadan, Sheikh Nazir. These are some really solid lessons. I remember listening to them. MashaAllah, Tabarak ar-Rahman. That's awesome.
Yeah, so the QR codes on each page there, relevant to the month. Ramadan, the month before Ramadan, Sha'ban. You can, preparation for Ramadan. Virtues of Ramadan, Muharram, Ashura, Rajab, and the rest of it.
I wish they would have put a QR code on Ramadan, like something on Aqidah, something on Tawheed.
It should be there.
It's I'm on the Ramadan. I'm on Ramadan here. The sacred month of Ramadan. There's no QR code on this one. That would have been really.
It's probably
good.
the month before.
It's on the month before. It's got heaps on preparing for Ramadan, but it would have been cracker.
Yeah, I think next month. Next one we should have on each page.
Each page, one lesson, even if it's a general lesson.
That's some feedback there. That's some feedback there for the tech man. He's part of the team.
I'm not bagging it. It's still the best calendar that exists in Australia. I don't care what anyone says. This is the best stuff. This is goodies. If someone doesn't have this in their house, do you even have a calendar?
So get yours at the Eid in the Eid in the Park prayer locations in Bankstown or Bass Hill at the Louisa Reserve, the Velodrome, Bass Hill. They'll be praying Eid prayer at 8:15 on Wednesday.
That is so cool, mashallah.
Liverpool, Woodwood Park, off Hoxton Park Road, Wednesday 7:45 prayer time.
Is it scheduled to rain so far?
Light schedule.
Serious.
It's lightly, but
so
it should be okay.
If it does rain, then we go back to.
We'll get there. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's Minto Netball Courts at Campbelltown, Redfern Road, Minto, 7:45 prayer time. And for the brothers and sisters in Wollongong, out there, give some big salam to the people in the Gong.
I love the Gong.
Wollongong University Sports Hub, 7:45. In the chance of rain, which is highly unlikely, wallahu a'lam, as we know, the Bankstown Markets is the default for prayer if it rains, wet weather location. But we hope that it will be good for the brothers and sisters in the Bankstown or Canterbury Bankstown area to pray in Louisa Reserve, the Velodrome, Bass Hill, off the Hume Highway there. So prayer time will be 8:15 sharp. Stay updated on Blair Radio.
You know what's hectic on
What
this?
is it? What?
I went to the Hijjah for the next year, and they got little sheep emojis, right? But they got no faces. That is awesome. That is really.
That's
good.
yours.
MashaAllah,
And
barakallah.
Allah bless the brothers, and make sure you get your ASWJ calendar, prayer calendar for the new Hijri year of 1445, because as we know, we're in the last month of the Hijri year, Dhul Hijjah, and tomorrow's the 9th, so around 20 or so days left. So get yours quick as possible. They do run out sometimes, so be quick. Let's get back to the theme of this podcast and the whole aim we're here today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, the book review podcast. Today we wanted to discuss how to start a library.
Yeah.
And we've been asked many, many times, but I couldn't help but see one of my favorite books for a great Sheikh, rahimahullah, one of the most popular books in the Islamic world.
Probably
the Fortress of the Muslim. A book we've all seen. It comes in different shapes and sizes. It's an app now. It's a bigger print came out. But something I saw and I never knew, and you just told me, Barakallah Feek, that the Shaykh who wrote it, Shaykh Sa'ad al-Qahtani rahimahullah, actually done a commentary on it. Fill us in.
So first, let's go to the English one, right? The one thing that I've hated about Fortress of the Muslim in the English language is that it's always tiny.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And the black edition, the normal black with the plastic cover, the normal paperback cover, the pages actually fall out after 6 months of use. Okay, this is something that they don't tell you in the fine print. The pages fall out. So then they came out with the nice edition, the $6 edition, which was like leather bound. You know what I mean? It was nice, like a nice cover.
Didn't last long.
No, but it was a good. My leather one, it's lasted me a while, right? It's been a good thing, but you still have to come through the fact that it's a tiny edition. It's a tiny book. It's pocket size. Now I'm getting old now, man. I know it doesn't seem like it. Maybe it's the stress going to my head, or the bad diet. Allahu a'lam. What could it be? But my eyes are getting bad, and so the tiny ones, they just don't do it for me anymore. I can't do small fonts anymore. Can't do small Qur'ans. The least that it has to be is palm size now for me. Because anything above that, I can get I feel like I'm going to get sick if I'm like in a car and we're reading something tiny and then it feels like you need a magnifying glass to listen to it or read it or something. It doesn't work. So that's why I love. Now, wallah, it's been here for about a year now-ish almost. Maybe longer, Allahu a'lam. But it's a reprint of Fortress of the Muslim.
Exactly.
Reprint.
So the one that Dar es-Salaam printed?
Dar es-Salaam, but this is printed by Da'wah Corner from Malaysia. Now, the thing that I love about this, right? It's beautiful yellow pages, and it's a thick page. The page that that you feel like you're touching a paper. You know what I mean? But it's a thick page.
Before you continue,
sorry, my bad.
Dawah Corner. Have you visited the bookstore of Dawah Corner in?
I visited it in Mecca.
Mecca.
I visited it in Mecca. Yeah, they've got a pretty big store there.
Yeah,
it's pretty gigantic.
Pretty nice, huh?
For a while, that was like because that's like the only English other than Dar es Salaam. There's like in Mecca. That's the only place that you can get some solid books. Look. I love the brothers at Da'wah Corner. I love what they do. But they need a proper, a proper editor maybe. A good reviser. Like what they did to the Shawkani book in fiqh. And some of the other books as well. It needs someone who's solid.
I've got some feedback about that book, but we'll leave it. We got to review
that was
that
Da'wah Corner as well, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure
not
it's
100% sure, but I'm pretty. Yeah, I think it is.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it's
a
newer publisher. It's not the IPH or Dar es Salaam or any of those guys.
So they need a bit of touch up. It needs a bit of fine tuning. But it's bad. It's good. But this one is good. Yes. This is good.
So you're talking about the yellow papers and
I'm
bigger writing.
Yellow pages, and so firstly the yellow pages, like, wow, right? The du'as are numbered. Everything is mashallah. It's all there. The translation is there. The transliteration is there. How to say it in English, the Arabic du'as is all there as well. But the font is big. It's inviting. So I would say, this is one of, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But this is probably the most printed book after the Quran in the Islamic world.
Oh, Akbar.
Because think of any azah you've been to. Think of any wedding you've been to. Think of any type of place. They used to give this book in container loads for free.
Is that the most sold book in the bookstore, Dar es Salaam bookstore?
Probably.
Farhan on the line.
Go
call him in.
Sir, you've been called in. Probably because you go through. We have this is one of the books that we have 100 bundle for. People want to get 100 copies, so we've got 100 bundle bulk buying option. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by default, we have thousands usually. You know what I mean? So, it is. I genuinely think it's probably the most sold in a person's lifetime. Sheikh Sa'id bin Ali bin Wahaf al-Qahtani, rahmatullah alayh, wa ghafar Allahu dhanbah. He passed away a few years back. And he was a beautiful sheikh, and he had mashallah long beard as well, mashallah, tabarakallah. And he was a scholar in his own right, and he has a few books. I have a few books of his. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was Al-Wala' wal-Bara'. I'm pretty sure he wrote a copy of that, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So he's got a few books, mashallah, tabarak ar-Rahman. But this book here in his lifetime, it just spread, and inshallah that shows a good niyyah. And we
So
ask
they've
Allah
left the
subhanahu
same
wa ta'ala for
tahqiq
this.
in there, or the
Everything-
check-in and the grading of the hadith?
Everything,
Haven't added anything to that? Or-
everything is, they've done the azu of the ahadith. So if something is in Fathul Bari or Tirmidhi or Sahih al-Tirmidhi, but the thing is that not very often is something other than that said. So for instance, like if we go to what to say, 272. For instance, this one here is what to say when sacrificing an animal. That's good, very important. Allahumma taqabbal minni. Or you can say Allahumma hadha minni wa lak. That's another dua. That's over here as well. Allahumma minka wa lak. This is from you and to you. So the reference over here is Sahih Muslim and Al-Bayhaqi. What is between the brackets is from Bayhaqi and others. The last phrase of the supplication was related from the narration of Muslim. It's fine, mashallah. This is, but like with the amount of nashr this has, with the intishar that it has, with the spread of this book, very rarely does a book like this go that, in a lifetime of a person, spread that far. In Islamic history almost, Allahu A'lam, a book to go that viral. You know what I mean? We're nearly in every Islamic
I've
home.
got to have a look at it.
It's
And
beautiful. It comes in different colors, different
maybe the
sizes.
tech man can put the link to it immediately. Tech man, what do you reckon? Straight in the link, the comments there on YouTube and Facebook, so the brothers can get it immediately. Ideal for as a gift as well.
Yeah,
For
no,
Eid.
yeah, definitely. And I,
Oh,
what I would
beautiful.
recommend
Mubarak.
is about 130,
There you go.
130 things that you gotta really focus on in that book, right? Now, something that's important to do, I would say, take 1 week at a time, or one a day, or one every 3 days, and memorize this book. This is
Yes.
one of the best books to memorize.
I remember there was a lot of programs in the masajid back in the day for the younger boys to actually, there's the pages there, where the younger boys used to memorize from the Fortress of a Muslim. Very good idea. Get them to memorize certain dua.
100%. This is like.
I just want to see where I landed there. What to say upon completing the wudu. Alhamdulillah, that's good. What to say when leaving home. This is one of my favorite books, and it is a revised edition, as the Sheikh mentioned. We will be pasting the link there for those who would like to get their edition for themselves, for their family members. Now, this is what I'm personally more interested in.
Yeah.
And you know that. Let me know.
Okay.
We go with this.
So this is called Ithaf al-Muslim. Ithaf al-Muslim. And this is Sheikh Sa'id himself, the person who wrote Fortress of the Muslim. This gigantic book, which was first published in 5 volumes, is a commentary of his own work. He wrote this commentary. This book is approximately, let me just check how many pages this is. This is over 2,000 pages, mate. This is over 2,000 pages.
Don't tell me that it's in columns, the writing.
No, it's
I hope not.
It's not in columns. It's a good print. This is one of the hardest books to come by. It's currently out of print. I tried ordering it again. It's out of print. It's out of, like, you can't find a copy.
Only in 5 volume? Only in 1 volume?
You can only
currently
you can only find it in 1 volume. So this is called Ithaf al-Muslim, the Sharh of Hisn al-Muslim. Wallahi, it's actually, I'm struggling.
Quite heavy, huh?
It's huge, bro. It's over 2,000 pages.
Who's the publisher, this one?
This one here, we get it from Lebanon, but it's published by Jarisi, which is in Riyadh.
So
I'm pretty sure that's where they're only at.
And the Sheikh lived in Riyadh, didn't he? Sheikh
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Allahu A'lam. He lived in Saudi, but I don't know exactly where. Allahu A'lam. But this commentary is like cracker, because like he gives you, what do you benefit from the ahadith? What do you benefit from? Oh, there you go, Sheikh.
There you go. Injure. Oh, here we go. I don't think I should be lifting this much. Oh my bad. That's heavy. That is heavy. That is quite heavy.
2,000 pages.
Might need a hand, tech man. Might need a hand. What do you reckon?
Ithaf al-Muslim. Bisharh Hisn al-Muslim.
Beautiful. There we go. Right there. That is beautiful. That is yeah.
Yeah, so this one took me a while to get.
Wouldn't mind if you actually forget it here.
Yeah, I like you, but you know.
No. I don't advise anyone to
never lend your books.
Lend out books, especially
never
books
ever
like
lend
this,
your
which
books.
is very hard to get.
Nah, don't do it. I don't care what anyone says.
We'll talk about that later. That's an excellent topic.
Oh, definitely.
Really, yeah. Very nice, and yeah, the
print is good. The print is very
checking
good.
of the ahadith.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of work that's been done, and the commentary is not a small commentary. It's a very in-depth commentary.
Let's give the brothers and sisters there. This
It's
is in
a
Arabic,
very,
obviously.
very
anything like this in English?
No.
Commentary on the Fortress of Muslim. Anyone tried that? I know there's been lessons about it.
No one's published it. Kitab al-Adhkar has been. You can find a copy of that, but that's Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, and you can find
excellent,
like some other books. Bismillah.
I should have just left it here.
So that's probably one of the harder books to find, but you can find a PDF quite easily. And the Sheikh, with his books, he was quite free with who can print and what it was. I don't know about specifically this book, if he's given the authority to print, allow to print, but I'm pretty sure you could access the PDF of this legally. And that's another.
We'll be accessing it, inshallah.
Yeah, I don't think that. I just wanted to check.
One of the brothers actually left a comment. I don't think I can bench a book that of that size.
Allah understand.
Oh, mate. I think you can. Allahumma barik. I think you can.
But you know what's crazy? He says, فَهَذَا مُخْتَصَرٌ. This is his summary of another book, الذكر والدعاء والعلاج بالرقى من كتاب والسنة. That's crazy. He says that this is a summary of another book. But I wanted to just double check if he gave, usually before he writes, he gives the, I can't remember if it was this book or another book. Oh, here. Okay, here. This is something that's crazy about his books, yeah? He says the publishing rights of this is reserved, right? Except for anyone who wants to print it and give it out for free. Then he has complete right to do it. But with the condition, bidun hadth, that he does not take anything from it, or idafa, or he doesn't add anything to it, or taghyir, or he doesn't change anything in it. فَلَهُ ذَلِكَ وَجَزَاهُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. And he has the, he can go print it for free. The Sheikh doesn't want any money. The Sheikh's family doesn't want any money from this. He's given the entire right away of this 2,000 page book for anyone with the condition that he prints it for free and he gives it away for free. He gives it away for free. That's the, you can go print his book, no problems. 2,000 pages, bro. And then he says, bishart, with the condition that he has to write on the actual front page, waqf lillahi ta'ala, that this is an endowment for the sake of Allah, that it can't be bought or it can't be sold. Imagine, this is, for some people, this could be an entire lifetime of work. Wallah. 2,000 pages of gems, right? And it's like fact-checked, and it's gone through word by word, gone through naql, and gone through explanation of something. You can't go.
He's not anyone as well. He's
exactly.
Not
this is a proper learned sheikh, right?
100%.
2,000 pages of his hard-earned time, his life's work. And he's saying, yeah, if you want to print it, no problems. Just say that it's a waqf on the front cover and give it out for free and you can do it.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar Kabir. This is like a 70, 80 buck book. You know what I mean? So getting this even from overseas is not easy. It's a heavy book getting about air. But anyways, but that's beyond the point. But the Sheikh was very generous in this regard. He just wanted his books to spread for the rewards, inshaAllah. وَلَا نُزَكِّي أَحَدًا عَلَى اللَّهِ. But subhanAllah, that's some crazy stuff, inshaAllah.
Now, since we mentioned that comment, one of our listeners has said, why can't we let others borrow our books?
Wonderful, wonderful. I love this question. I am going to tell you one thing, my beloved brothers and sisters. If you want to maintain a library, and if you want to keep a library, the golden rule of thumb is you never allow anyone to take a book from your library. Because if you want to maintain that library, all of the books need to be in the library. And if the books are taken from the library, the general rule of thumb is they will never be returned and people will forget about that and then perhaps even sold. Wallah.
Yes.
Okay, Sheikh Nidal, how many times have you given a book to someone to borrow, and that book has never come back?
Quite a few times.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson.
Or lost, like, becomes lost. They're good brothers, but just genuinely lost it.
Yeah.
And say that's, I give them the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, it's your book, and sometimes it's
the hard
like
book
this one, for example.
If I gave that to someone,
like if I took it now and I moved houses, and it's hard to get. Certain books are very hard
I'm getting
to replace.
Sort of a panic attack just thinking about that. Sheikh Nidal, don't do that to me. Yeah. Like that's just slack.
I'm actually still waiting for that book.
Which one? You're hitting someone up for that book.
I'm hitting him up now.
But that's the thing. So anyone who you give a book to, and they might be the most beautiful of people.
100%.
And you give them a book that's close to your heart. Unless you are completely certain that you do not care if that book goes and gets missing. You know what I mean? And you say, Lillah, I'm giving this for the sake of Allah and I don't expect it to come back, then give the book away. Because 9 times out of 10, that book is never coming back.
And some of the Mashaykh have written about
100%,
this topic.
100%.
So quite interesting.
Because think about this. This is the worst part of it. You come to my place and I show you a benefit from volume 13 from Sir Alam al-Nubala, a 27, 23, 28 volume book, whatever it is, regardless of the book, right? A voluminous book, even if it's volume 2 of a book. And then you say, hey man, I'm writing about this, or I need it for a dars. Do you reckon I can just have it for a week or 2 weeks? And then I say, yeah, take my book. I'd love it. And then you lose the book through qaddar Allah ma sha'a fa'al. Whatever happens, the shaitan comes and his main target right now is that book to be lost. That's probably what it is, right? And shaitan comes and this book is now gone. Gonski's finished, gone. Now you haven't just ruined for me that book. You've ruined for me the entire collection. You've ruined for me the entire volume of work, 30 volumes, by ruining that one book is missing. Because now if I need a reference, I can't find it usually in that. And anytime I need that reference, it's always in that book that's missing. It's always the one that's missing. So, my brothers and sisters, if someone has a library and they want to maintain their library, don't give your books away. Now, there is a way that you can help brothers and sisters, right? So, if someone ever needs anything from my library, right? Not a problem. No, not a problem. You come and read it in my library, and you don't leave my library with the book. You stay in the library and you finish it. Take a picture if you want. Take a picture if you want. No worries. Take a picture. But why do I have to give you my book? It's my book. No. You know what I mean? That's, oh my God, you triggered me there, Sheikh. But yeah, don't ever give, and this is like a golden rule. Don't ever lend anyone, however great they are.
In all seriousness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not joking. I don't think, you guys think I'm joking. I'm not joking.
What would it take, like, for 1 week for the commentary of A Fortress of Muslim?
You go buy one. You go buy it. And then you can keep it for as many weeks as you want. You know what I mean? I've tried this book. I was looking for it for about over a year or two.
I agree with you.
Yani, for instance, I have one of the only collections in Australia for the Dar Ta'sil Hadith books in Australia. I genuinely think I'm the only one in Australia. Maybe you can fill us in
quickly what that is. Just quickly, briefly. We'll leave it for another episode, inshallah.
There was a mashru' in, I believe it was in the 70s or 80s or 90s, Allahu A'lam when it was, maybe in the 90s. And the Quran printing press in Medina, the mashayikh that were, this is how the story was told to me by one of my sheikhs who passed away, rahmatullah alayh. It was in my 3rd semester, I was studying Jami'ah Tirmidhi. Now, he said to us that this is a story with this print, right? So basically the Quran printing press in Medina, they came and they had this idea that, okay, we've printed the Quran, now we're going to print the Sunnah. So what they did was they bought manuscripts from different places in the world. And the plan was that they were going to go and they were going to fact check all of the manuscripts, and they were going to go and publish Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, Muwatta, Fath al-Bari, all of these books.
Amazing.
But what happened was that there was some issue with the project, and eventually what I heard happen is that one of the mashayikh, he took or he scanned or whatever the issue was, but the thing is he went back to Egypt or he went to Egypt and he opened a company called Dar Ta'sil. And this publishing house in Egypt, it's in Cairo, they published the books of hadith, Bukhari in 10 volumes first, now it's I think in 8 volumes, and then Muslim, and then Nasa'i, and then Tirmidhi, and then Nasa'i al-Kubra, Nasa'i al-Sughra, and Abi Dawood, and Ibn Majah, Al-Mujtaba, and yani, they did quite a lot of work. And Muwatta Imam Malik, and Muwatta in the different narrations from Malik, they did the different narrations from Imam Malik, rahmatullah alayh. I think they've done 2 of them. Then they did Ibn Jarud's Al-Muntaqa, then they did so many works. And I've heard for the last 5 years almost that they've nearly finished Fath al-Bari, right? But it's in my library. If anyone goes there, I've put it on they all have one way of printing, that it's all gold. The actual front covers, they're all gold. And it's seen as the best prints of these books, Allahu A'lam. I consider the Bukhari, that and Bayt al-Sunnah is on the top for me, right? The best prints of Sahih Bukhari. And Sahih Muslim as well. And they've printed it as close to the manuscripts as possible. So I think I'm one of the only people in all of Australia who has the entire collection, save one book. But I have it's Musnad al-Darimi. They originally printed it in 3 volumes, and I have the 1 volume edition that they later printed. So I'm just trying to find the 3 volume edition. One of the brothers in the UK, he said that if I don't find it, then he will send it to me, and I'm going to hold him to account to that, inshallah, one of these days. So we're just waiting for that to come through. But I have this beautiful silsila of the hadith books. So now the other thing is, is that if you came and you took this one book from me, and now it's no longer printed, يعني the Bukhari that we have Bukhari, the 10-volume edition, you can't even find it anymore because it's the first edition. Now the second edition's in 9 volumes. Now if you took from me, if you took from me this volume 8, and then I wanted to go and replace another volume 8, I won't be able to. Unless someone is selling a broken set or something. That doesn't happen very rarely. So you've ruined my entire collection now.
I feel ya.
It hurts me. It hurts me.
Getting quite emotional here. I think we have to change the topic.
No, but like, and then someone comes one time. He's like, "Why won't you let me borrow your book?" Who are you, bro? Why do you think you have haq on my books?
It's your book in the end of the day as well.
It's my haq. It's my book. I've paid for it. I've done the hard. Bro, anything I have, I've put in my library. I counted it today. I have over 20 shelves plus in my garage alone. And then I have a library upstairs. Yani, my books is my pride and joy. I have multiple copies of certain things that no one can find. I take great pride in this.
Inshallah, the library walkthrough is coming. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we'll do it. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.
You're more than welcome.
We'll come and record maybe the next episode from the library.
You're more than welcome.
Or a walkthrough first, then the next.
More than welcome.
That was a plan. We spoke about it. We just haven't put the steps to do it.
Yeah.
Which is to do the podcast in our libraries, specifically in your library.
So recently, what I've done is in my like my last post on Instagram, I actually changed my upstairs library. We've got some lighting done in there and stuff. So now I can record from my actual upstairs library. It's my most important books are upstairs now because I have an office upstairs. And so I have my table and then my books just in one corner. And it's like my Fathul Baris, my Sharh of Sahih Muslim, my Tuhfat al-Ahwadi, my main creme de la creme books. The books that if I was stuck on an island and I had this, I would be happy. You know what I mean? Like, alhamdulillah, I'm content. Inshallah, my entire religion is complete in these 3 shelves. And they're just Billy shelves, the IKEA ones that they crack out. They're the best. So I have those upstairs, my library. So I've actually been starting to record. There's going to be a lot more content coming out from
when this podcast finally branches out. We're going to get some furniture experts in here and some carpenters. What do you reckon?
But I genuinely think to make a library, you just need IKEA.
But you know who's good for this? We haven't mentioned him quite a while.
Yeah.
He's your partner.
Doc.
It's his hobby.
Doctor.
That's right.
Doctor. I asked him.
He has a passion in building stuff.
I love him.
In wood. And Dr. Omar Najarin, shout out.
I love Dr.
Trying to get him on. Been quite busy.
So what happened was that I called Dr. Omar, right? I was like, Doctor, I've moved into my house.
For those who want to know why we call him a doctor, he's actually a podiatrist. And in Australia, they can prescribe medicine. Yeah, so they get the title of doctor.
Yeah,
you know that?
Yeah, it's foot doctor, bro. It's like, you only know how much you need a foot doctor until that you fall and you need a foot doctor. And then you'll be calling him doctor. You won't be calling him doctor, you'll be calling him doctor. Okay, so I called my wood mechanic, which is Dr. Umar Najarin.
Wood mechanic, nice.
Bro, I don't know what they call him, right? Woodworks galore or whatever it is. Anyways, mate, this guy, I called him.
Call him a Najjar.
A Najjar, right? But anyways, I called my Mr. Woodwork, right? I call him and I'm like, Doc, I need to come see you. He's like, yeah, come down, hectic. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, look, I just moved into my place. I just got married. I moved into my place. This was like 2 years ago, 1 year ago. And then I'm like to him, I need a table. I need a office table. You know what I mean? Hook me up. Let's see what we can do. He's like, yeah, sorted, no problems. I'm like, when can I expect my table? He's like, 4 to 8 weeks. I'm like, get out of my face.
That's a good waiting time for that.
I'm like, what is this? He's like, we have to get the wood. We have to treat the wood. We have to polish the wood. We have to sand it down. We have to do this. It's treatment and this and this.
Treatment, yes.
Because he's like, it's a live piece of furniture. And I'm like, Habibi, bro, I need a table. I'm studying on the floor right now. What's wrong with you? Like, I need a table. And then he's like, we can't, like, I think he said 4 to 6 weeks, I think.
So you just made your way to Officeworks, or was it?
No. Then
IKEA.
Then after that,
maybe
I didn't.
Costco.
No.
Temple maybe Costco has someone special.
Temple and Webster. I went, got a table from there, like a marble-ish type table, and alhamdulillah, that came through within like 5 days. And then I think I sent him a picture. I was like, bro, 4 weeks later, I'm still waiting for you, bro. These guys came through.
You're waiting a while. They got a big wait time there.
Yeah. And so you need a good table, for any office. That's the first thing. And you need IKEA bookshelves, okay? The Billy shelves, I told you this when you were making a bookshelf for your family. The IKEA bookshelves are the best things that you can buy, but there's a trick, okay? There's a life hack. Don't get the normal 80 centimeter wide bookshelves.
Get the single ones.
Get the 40 centimeter wide shelves because they'll never bend. And just drill them together, and then you'll have a beautiful shelf. And get the brown color because they look really cracker. Don't get white because the white one I feel like is just a bit weaker for some weird reason. But the wood ones, the
white is the worst color when you have kids.
Yeah, really?
100%.
I don't know. So
they run amok with the crayons and the
serious?
textures and the
Yeah, nah. I
yeah.
couldn't. When my library was at my brother's house for a little bit, I had my library there for maybe 3 months. I opened some pages till today, and I still find little kids' writings in pencil. Walillahi alhamd.
My books have been attacked quite a bit.
Walillahi alhamd. I found it in pencil.
Highlighters.
But they were pretty vigilant on the kids that they don't go to Ammu's library. You know what I mean? But when they went in, I walked in one time and I saw a little kid drawing on my book with a pencil. I was like, oh my god, no, I love you, but not that.
We're gonna leave the what we really wanted to speak about today for another time. How to start a library. Maybe we'll have the next book review podcast starting with how to start an Islamic library. We can even mention some furniture recommendations.
Yeah, easy. Secret Lab chairs, shout out.
Let's do one more.
Have you ever heard of a Secret Lab chair?
A Secret Lab chair?
Secret Lab chair.
I thought you said Secret Lab chair. What's going on here?
Sorry, I became a bit Aucklandish.
Secret Lab chair.
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
No. Fill me in.
Okay, a Secret Lab chair is the best chair you will ever sit on. I personally reckon on a table, ever. I'll put money on it.
What is it?
Actually, we won't put money. Gambling's haram. But still, now, a Secret Lab chair is a gaming chair. It's very expensive stuff.
Tech man, put it up on the screen, please. Let's see it.
It's actually like it's heavy duty stuff. Okay. Now, I've had this chair for about 2 years now, and this chair has not given me backache once. Not a back pain. I can sit on it for 3, 4, 5 hours. No. None of these Herman Miller Ori types. No.
What are you trying to say? This is pretty good. Don't know about it.
We've got a Herman Miller's at the shop, right? Which is like the best type of chairs that you can find. But these Secret Lab chairs, they are expensive. It's like $700, $800 for a chair, bro. Right? It's like sometimes I bought my one for $850, I think. So I get the XL one, so it's nice and wide. Because boy isn't. You know what I mean? I'm not. Astaghfirullah. Anyway, so it's because of my height. Okay, tech man, because nearly 2 meters tall. Now, so this Secret Lab chair, if I want to like do my memorization, I can actually recline my chair and just go all the way back at like almost like a bed, not fully like a bed, but it's like maybe I don't even know the degrees that it could be, but it's like a real all the way back type thing, and you feel like you're like dipped down, right? I think it might be almost 180 degrees. The seat resting, like I'm turning this.
Can you like do a review for us of the chair, maybe?
This is the best chair that I've ever sat on in my life, right? I genuinely think for a wedding present for my wife, I actually got her the pink one. I was like, get a chair. But yeah, that's a different type of story. But anyways, I got the chair. This thing is unbelievable, bro. This thing, I genuinely think you need a good table, a good chair, and you need Billy shelves. IKEA, Temple & Webster, and Secret Lab chair. But yeah, and you can probably find some on Marketplace for cheaper. But anyway, that's just the difference.
Okay.
Last book.
Let's we'll get to the comments at the end. There's some comments we'll get to.
The comments?
Let's do the last book.
Last book.
Do
you want to do Aqidah? Do you want to do English?
I think let's do one more English one.
One more English.
And we'll wrap up, and we'll leave the Aqidah one for next time, inshallah.
Okay, this is called Kitab al-Tadhkirah.
Allahu Akbar.
Kitab al-Tadhkirah by Imam al-Qurtubi rahmatullah alayh. Now, this is very, very awesome. This book here, I love this book. I was actually thinking of either teaching this or that with the... Well, I actually wanted to teach 9 books, but anyways. This is one of the books that I really wanted to teach.
You'll be able to do
Ya Rab, Ya Rab. But this is an abridged edition. In the original Arabic edition, it's 3 volumes published by Darul Minhaj, and that's the best print of it that I've seen. The one printed by Darul Minhaj in 3 volumes. Now, Kitab al-Tadhkirah is everything after, like even before death, even to be honest. It describes death, everything after death, the signs of the hour even, and Jannah, Jahannam. It goes through the adhab of the qabr, the adhab of Jahannam. It's one of the most detailed books about the afterlife and that which comes at like the description of death and that which comes close to death from the signs of the hour. Now, the thing with the 3-volume edition is that it has a lot of narrations that are weak, and there might be some repetition. So what the brothers from Hikmah Pubs, and again, best I reckon in the world at the moment in translation and publication of Islamic books, is Hikmah Publications and Authentic Statements in America, in Philadelphia and America. Kitab al-Tadhkira, what they've done in this book is they've taken a lot of the narrations that are weak and a lot of the repetition out, and they've produced it in a beautiful way, and the translation is very easy to read. It's a very good level of English, and I genuinely think that this is awesome, that you get the lub, you get the max benefit that you can from the book while having a summary of the book. Kitab al-Tadhkira by Imam al-Qurtubi, 671 Hijri, 671 after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think this is one of the nicest things to read when it comes to death and anything to do with death.
Excellent. This looks very good. Now, I don't want to annoy you. I think there was a Darab Kutub Almiya.
No, don't do that. Don't do that to me, bro.
That you should keep far away from. It's another story. Do you remember that one? That was, I think it's one of the, Allah wrote the brothers, but it's probably one of the worst books printed that I've come across.
It's probably the worst.
Was
Yeah.
that? Am I right?
Yeah.
I just want to be sure.
It was. Yeah.
So this is Alhamdulillah, they've done it, and it's a huge upgrade on.
No, but
what
the
I
thing
was
is, that's
used to.
beautiful about this. All the narrations that are here are from the Kutub
Listen,
al-Sitta.
Straight out. What are you a fan of? How the font is spaced out there?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Enough
Why is
space
that?
enough space to write.
But that's how
Enough
the
space
font
to
is.
highlight. Yeah.
They think they can fit more in.
No. I like it spaced out. It's more like yashrah sadr, like you.
Yeah,
You-
it's
you know
when
what I
it's too constricted. Yeah.
It's when something's jam packed on a page, it's more anxiety inducing when there's so much going on when the font is tiny. This opens your heart, bro. It's easier to read. It's less on the
The
page.
ayat are in Arabic, but
Perfect.
the hadith aren't. This is something that I always.
Yeah, they do that. A
I
lot of
don't
the
like
places
that.
that
They
hadith
haven't got
aren't.
the check-in of the hadith.
They don't. But look,
But
they
Tirmidhi
give
is numbered. Yeah.
they give you the numbers, but it's from the Kutub al-Sitta. Okay, they've taken the ones outside of the Kutub al-Sitta out, and
Yes.
most of it. Go through the pages now. Most of it is Bukhari and Muslim.
Yes.
Most of it is Bukhari and
And they've
Muslim.
numbered the
which is crack up.
Sunan. So. Yeah, let's show the chair, Jamal. I mean, Tech Man. Let's show
Wait,
it.
let me see which ones you guys are putting up, but because you know what I mean. There's quite a lot.
Excellent. Looks good. It's abridged, as you said.
Yeah,
There
so
we go.
it's a summary of it, which is very, very good. Good stuff.
Okay, it's going to I think, be delayed coming up here. Tech Man. Maybe you can. It's going to be quite delayed here. Now, as we're waiting.
Actually, you know what? We'll just show him my chair.
As we're waiting, I might have lost those comments now. Had quite a few comments here in the chat sec. Oh, they're gone. I need those comments again. Oh, there we go. There it is. Hey, have a quiet. There you go.
Yeah, so no, I don't like the PU one. Don't get that. The PU ones are horrible because they make your back hot, right? The leather, that's PU leather. So what that does is that it's as if you're on fake leather, but the actual problem with fake leather is that it makes your back hot and that you can't sit on it for too long because it like creates sweat.
That's right.
And it's a bad environment to be in. You need the fabric ones, bro. It's called the soft leather 2.0 fabric. Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's the one I think it's even cheaper than this PU leather one.
Okay, as the Tech Man gets us the rest of the comments, please Tech Man from Facebook and YouTube. I've got some other ones.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Regarding lending out, I think letting others borrow. Plus, you value the knowledge more when you're vested in your own book.
100%.
That's a good comment. I always find an online PDF version and send it to them to read or link the site to buy one.
Okay, so
Good suggestion.
I'm gonna cop a lot of smack for this.
We have to speak about that topic one day in more detail regarding PDFs, because there's another comment about PDFs, but if I mention, I think you're gonna fall out of your chair.
Tell me what is it?
Let's see.
Tell me right now
I've
what
lost
they
it.
said, bro.
There we go. Brother Abdullah, he says, Ustaz, don't you think we should get used to PDFs, databases, online libraries, etc.? You're not going to have 10,000 books in your home library at the end of the day.
Should I leave now? Should I go?
You've actually triggered him. Brother Abdullah, you've triggered him. I know what you mean, but there's something about having a library. Like a PDF for me is like a last resort, break in case of emergency.
Nah, he's probably pulling my leg, yeah?
I don't know.
He's probably pulling my leg.
No, he thinks, I think he's serious.
Nah. Bro, relax. Nah. He won't do that.
And regarding lending as well, mate, before we get back to that comment, not everyone you lend it to will know how special a book can be to one's heart.
Yeah, but even if you tell them, like, this is the most important book to my heart, they'll be like, yeah, it's just a book. You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, I totally get that. But okay, so look, should we get used to PDFs? No, absolutely not. Do not get used to PDFs. For 3 reasons. I'll give you 3, not 1, not 2, 3 reasons. The first reason is you are harming, by the use of PDFs of books that are readily available for you to purchase, you are harming the chance of a future book being made. How? Is because if, there is a whole system, there's a chain. A person is paid to do some work. And then that book gets published by a publisher who doesn't have to print that book. They have a million books that they can print, but they chose this work to print. And so then that book goes into printing, and then after that, within 3 days, the PDF is revealed. And then after that, the person who got paid, he got paid, khalas, he's done. But then the publisher was like, we put all this money in this book and no one's buying it. Why? Because the PDF's available. So khalas, why do we ever need to print out this book again? So then it's going to affect their sales, and it's going to affect the way that they do business. And it's going to affect, I know publishing houses that have gone completely bankrupt. Completely. Because why? PDFs ruin their business. I know one project that took 15 years to do. 15 years to do. And they did not authorize the PDFs to go online. Within 3 days, within 7 days, the entire publication was online. PDF, done, finished.
Yeah, in your honest opinion, do you think with the market now for ebooks and the like, and is that change things or not really?
No, not at all. So look, you think about this. Your Quran that when you think of, we're going to go to the masjid and you're going to read a Quran on the 27th night, say. Let's just make it cultural for everyone, right? Everyone in the area goes to the masjid on the 27th. Special night, right? One of the potential days of Laylatul Qadr. But the 27th is usually where everyone tries to stay at the masjid. No. It's unfortunate, but let's just say that's what's happened, right? It's because it could be in any of the 10 nights. It could be on the 21st, the 23rd, the 25th, the 27th. What you do on the 27th, you should do on the 29th, you should do on the 25th, you should do on the 23rd. But that's the night that everyone goes to the masjid. So do you think that the person who thinks, I'm going to take my Quran, right? Do you think they're going to take their Kindle? Or they're going to take their physical Quran?
The Quran is different, but seriously.
It's still a book. It's a book. It shows...
It's the book.
It's the book, right? Which shows you how you're going to deal with the rest of the books. Do you get what I mean? So you're always going to need a physical copy. Always going to need a physical copy. Look, that's one... I genuinely think that's not going to change anything. The Kindle or the renaissance of...
regardless if you think regardless if they buy it online, because now you can buy them online now.
A lot of the books you can buy online, but not
Dar es Salaam have that option yet?
Oh, Dar es Salaam does, but not our Dar es Salaam, but like the publishing Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
But they affect, so the way that you purchase it online is cheaper than how much a business will have to purchase it from the publisher. How is that fair to the publisher or the business that's going to purchase the book?
Brother Abdullah says, sorry Ustaz, but I generally believe that.
Okay, so...
10,000 PDF comment.
Okay, so the 10,000 PDF comment...
10,000 books.
So no one is required to have 10,000 books. 100%, right? And I genuinely think that the way that it's going to move forward is that slowly, these books are not going to be found anymore. Slowly, a lot of these books will not be printed anymore.
But
the big books.
Wasn't there a revival during the lockdown, during the COVID period, of reading and purchasing books?
There was. But I'm saying, we're talking about specifically Arabic right now.
Yes.
Okay, because the 10,000 references are to 10,000 Arabic books. So slowly, you will not find access to these Arabic books. A lot of my books that I have, you can't find prints of them anymore. They're not printed anymore. Khalas, it's done. So there's one issue where if a book is not available, then you go and find a PDF. No problems. Go find a PDF because the publishing house is gone.
Personally, a PDF has never ever stopped me from buying a book.
Yeah, that's another issue.
I would never use a PDF unless I can't get my hands on the book and I need it.
Okay. The second issue that I have with the PDFs is how many a time has someone been using a PDF and the page selection, if they're trying to get to a certain page, it's like the most horrible experience because the page numbers don't link up with the page number of slides. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, that's right. And also another issue is that, no book is perfect after the Quran. The Quran is perfect. There's mistakes. There's going to be mistakes in books. When you got a PDF, that's basically saved it.
It's never going to be changed.
The new edition, as what authors normally do, they update, they correct the mistakes.
Yeah.
And the
so look, we're not saying to have all of your library because the radical thing, there were some people when the PDF movement came out, they sold their entire libraries. And they were asked 5 years later, what do you think about that decision of selling their library? It's like, there was the greatest regret that we've ever had.
I know people have downsized.
I know
say
people
the
have
least, yeah.
downsized.
Yeah, downsized.
I know one of the mashayikh in Australia, he was like, because he travels between here and the Emirates, he was like, I just got an iPad. I got a Pro, like a massive iPad, and most of my books are on there, but he's like tech savvy, mashallah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So you can't expect everyone to be tech savvy like that as well. That's another issue. And you can't be carrying your books as well.
Some do have that reason with room as well, small house,
nowhere to
put the
but
books.
like if you're traveling, then again, that's another issue. But if you have a library, I'm telling you from my experience, I'm obviously just a one person. I studied my Islamic studies because of my dad's library.
Oh, very close.
I went to Medina because I wanted to read. As a child, I saw the library, it filled the wall, and I was like, I want to learn how to read this.
Listen, I heard this from our Sheikh Abdul Al-Hawaini, hafidhullah. The difference in a research paper today and a research paper, say 30, 40 years ago, a student is doing a research on a topic, topic A. He has to access the books, has to find everything, then get to know the books, source it, have the prints available, puts the essay forward or the research paper forward. Our time, the student may gather more information, it may be even more correct in terms of sourcing, but it's all cut and paste.
Yeah. So look, I know some mashayikh.
Who is going to be of
More
stronger in what they benefited themselves in that regard? And that's by accessing books and sourcing the books. We're not saying there's anything wrong with using online and the rest, but it's a different world.
So like the most famous Arabic database is Maktab al-Shamila, right? Shamila.
Is that still going? They're still updating?
Of course. Yeah, they're still going. They're still going on, especially the Nuskha of Masjid al-Nabawi. So our sheikhs would use that, right? Which is online PDF galore. That's what it is, right? You search something up, you can find the exact hashia wherever
they have an app, an official app, or not yet?
It's very clunky. It's horrible.
The website
it's very bad.
Yeah,
it's very clunky. So our mashayikh would use that, but that would not be tool number A. That would be tool number B. Right? That would be tool that's in the arsenal of things that you use. I'm not saying completely write off all PDFs. I'm saying use them, but your asl should be books. 100%. Your focus initially should be books. And I genuinely think anyone with a library will never regret having a library.
We'll read the final few comments and we'll wrap it up. Sister says, Alhamdulillah for the fortress of the Muslim in the biggest size. I am blind as a bat.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Brother, I think it's Brother Liban Ali. Assalamu alaikum. A few episodes back, you said you would do a review of the Seerah book you were reading. Would you still be doing that?
Yes, we would.
And what was the book called?
It was called Al-Fusul,
Fi Seerah
Chapters,
Rasul,
by Ibn Kathir. Inshallah, we're definitely going to do that. It's just time has...
I'll give you an update. I've been using it for some Seerah classes.
How do you find it?
Excellent overall. I've got some feedback, but I'm up to the Medina period, Battle of Badr, and I've been cross-referencing it with the Arabic, and listening to a commentary from Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr, excellent. But obviously, when you listen to it or read it or study it with the commentary of the Sheikh, it's a different, especially Sheikh Abdul Razak, hafidhullah.
100 lessons or 57 lessons?
I know it's 50 minimum 50.
Yeah.
I think Battle of Badr was lesson 15.
So I think it was
16. I think it's got in 40 or 30. Would it mean 30?
No, I think it might be 50.
50?
I think it might be 50 lessons.
Potentially, yeah. But so far the book is excellent.
It's excellent. I have some critical points about some things that
there are some things,
about certain things that were added into the book that shouldn't have been.
Yes.
But inshallah, we're going to get to it. It's still the best seerah in the world, but hands down.
It's one of the best ones.
I genuinely think it's the best. I'm putting it up there.
In terms of English? Yeah, the English is quite good.
It's amazing.
Excellent translation.
It's a wonderful translation. But I gotta say, there's one massive piece of clarification that needs to be printed for anyone. A disclaimer needs to be made for anyone who purchases it. Whoever comes to the shop, I tell them about it. Just don't read from here to here. It's nothing to do with the actual Ibn Kathir's works. It's what's been added by the publisher, and it was unnecessary and it shouldn't have been done.
100%. Speaking about other Muslims, may Allah forgive them and guide them to that which is best for them in this world.
Yeah, but it's like got nothing to do with seerah. It's got nothing to do with your internal politics in the UK.
100%.
Has nothing to do with what we got to do. But we'll talk about that.
That's what downgrades the overall package of the book. But
I'm always skeptical to recommend it to someone because I don't want them to read it.
Sadly, it's not only that book. And we've had it many times over the years, as you know. Sadly, we've come to the end of tonight's episode. Another fascinating episode, very beneficial. We didn't expect to speak about certain things, but we did. Alhamdulillah.
Was there any questions?
And
Did
it
we
was
miss
good.
Any questions?
I think I've run it. I've lost the connection to the comments, so I'm only getting them sent from the tech man.
You're in
What
trouble.
book does the Sheikh suggest in English about the life of the Salaf? I think we recommended that before, but maybe we can mention it again.
First start with the Salaf of the Sahaba. First start off with the one that we recommended, I think, 2 weeks ago. The Men Who Met the Messenger. It's a very big book, over 800.
It's available in the bookstore.
It's available in the shop. It is expensive, I'm not going to lie to you. We only have, I think, 6 copies left. It's not going to last very long, but that's probably the best place to start. And then after that book, The Virtuous Woman, finish those 2, and then after that come back to us and we'll tell you what to read after that, inshallah. But those 2 is because who are the Salaf? The Salaf, my brothers and sisters, they start off with the companions. It's not Ibn Taymiyyah. It doesn't start off with Ibn Taymiyyah, right? The Salaf is the pious predecessors, right? So it's the 3 generations that we mentioned last week, the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, the Atba', the Sahaba, those who took from the Sahaba and those who took from the students of the Sahaba. And then the Salaf is those who followed in their way. Like, for instance, 700 years later, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and others. But there's like this massive link in between, right? So you have, for instance, the scholars like Ibn Abd al-Barr, you have the scholars of tafsir like Imam al-Tabari, like Imam al-Qurtubi. You have all of these giants of knowledge in between as well. So there are, the first focus point though of the Salaf would be what? The Sahaba. Because that's who, where you want to get back to. So focus on the Sahaba. Focus on the Sahaba. Focus on the Sahaba. Make sure you know the Sahaba. Make sure you're able to quote me things from their lives easily. Right? Understand. Not just read the book. I'm saying memorize as many quotes as you can. Things about their lives. How many of the Sahaba do you know? Just their names. If you don't know more than 30, 40, 50 names of the Sahaba, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. If you don't know your companions. These are the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Your fathers, man. What else do you want? 100%. These are the people who gave you the Quran. You're so thankful for the Quran. These are the ones who gave you the Quran because they took it from the Prophet ﷺ and then they orally transmitted it to those after them. And they gave us the Sunnah. These are the keys to the Prophet ﷺ. Right? And whoever loves them, we love them. And whoever hates them, we hate them. This is from the Aqeedah of the Salaf. This is from the Aqeedah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This is something that's agreed upon. And whoever hates them, we hate them. Any one of the companions, speaking one of them, if you what the scholars have said, if you see someone talking about one companion, then know that that person is a zindiq, a heretic. Right? So the Salaf, start off with the companions and then from the Tabi'een. But start off with the companions first. That's the best thing. The men who met the messenger and the virtuous, the noble life of the illustrious women.
Any final comments before we wrap it up?
Tomorrow, fast. Yawm Arafah. Then understand that it's a day that you have to make a lot of dhikr. A lot of dhikr, a lot of dua. Have a plan, a systematic plan for Arafah. Right? So have a time where you make dua for yourself. A time where you make dua for your wife. A time where you make dua for your kids. A time where you make dua for your brothers. I'm not saying this is a sunnah. I'm not saying this is this is how you should. I'm saying this is how to make it systematic from personal experience. This helps you be fixing on focused on your goals in what you want to make dua for, so you don't lose what do I make dua for next, right? So then have a time after that you make dua for your siblings, then for your extended family, then for your work, then for your knowledge, then for your health, then for your just keep going like that. Right? So have an actual systematic approach to your dua on this day, because then you understand that you have to ask Allah for everything. Ask Allah for everything. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he says, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything, even if it was for your shoelace if it were to break.
Allahu Akbar. Excellent advice.
Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything. So come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through dua and dhikr this Arafah, and may it be the best Arafah that you've had.
Ameen.
Ya Rab.
We'd like to thank the Sheikh for being with us today. We'd like to remind our listeners that we will be on 107.9 FM until July 3rd, so please tune in on the days of Eid and Ayyam al-Tashriq on 107.9 FM in Sydney. For those out of Sydney, download the Al Bayan Radio app, Google Play Store, Apple App Store, or albayan.com.au. Don't forget to pray Eid in the park, pray it outdoors. Many locations available this year. Bankstown, Louisa Reserve, the Velodrome at Bass Hill, 8:15 sharp on Wednesday. Wollongong University Sports Hub, 7:45 sharp. New South Wales in Liverpool, Woodward Park off Hoxton Park Road, 7:45 sharp. Campbelltown, Minto Netball Courts, Redfern Road, Minto, 7:45 on Wednesday. For more information, go to eatinthepark.org.au. Is that right, Tech Man? eatinthepark.org.au, or go to the ASWJ Australia Facebook page. And for all those watching and listening, or wherever you may be, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Very busy the last few months, our YouTube channel, alhamdulillah, Al Bayan Radio Australia, where you can catch all our programs, all our playlists, plenty of Sheikh Farhan reminders as well, and plenty of these programs and other programs. So share it, like it, spread it, far and wide. Barakallah fikum, and don't forget to download the Al Bayan Radio